Now let's create some plant here in the corner. And first of all, I want to move a cursor there, so shift right click, and we'll need to add a single vert, so shift A, single vert, add single vert. And right now we'll use a little bit of a different technique. We won't be using circle or cylinder or anything like that. I want to use just the profile and then procedurally rotate it around. So let's continue by extruding this vert. Make sure you have a vert select or press 1. And now press E to extrude, Y, and extrude this on Y axis. Okay. And right now we can go to the side view by pressing 3. Go to the wireframe view. Let's zoom in and just extrude some shape like this, and then on the Z-axis, and that'll be all right for now. And right now go to the modifier and add a screw modifier, and that's again new one for you, and you will see how awesome this works. So let's add a screw modifier, and there's your shape. We can go look to the solid view, and that's it for the shape. Pretty neat. So we'll need to convert this. To a hard surface with some volume. But first of all, if you wanted to have this flat shaded for some reason in some other project, you can see there's a checkbox here. You can have this as a low poly as well. So let's go back and enable the smooth shading. And right now we'll add the solidify modifier like this. And let's go negative so it goes inside. So drag this inside. I think minus 0.06 will work fine. And the one last thing to do is just to add the subdivision surface. So you can do it here in add modifier, or you can go to the object mode and press Ctrl 2, whatever works for you. I'll just add the subdivision surface, and let's bring this up to 2, and that's your shape. And basically you can play now around. If you want to add more geometry, you can just do a cut here, add a new vertex, then press G twice and slide this around to make the bottom a little bit sharper. And this is awesome way how to make these rounded circular shapes, where you basically just have a few vertices to play around, and you can modify it on the Y or on the Z to make some pretty unique shapes. Okay, so I now want to fill this with some dirt that we want the plant to be in. So let's tab out and now go to the side view with numpad 3, go to the wireframe view and duplicate this. Right now I want to remove the solidify there, so let's press this X on the solidify modifier. Next I want to apply the screw modifier, so apply that as well. So we only have a subdivision surface. Go into the edit mode. Right now you can see we have all the geometry generated by the screw modifier. So we can select all, bring this a little bit up like this, and scale on the X and Y as well. So scale, Shift Z, and scale this to touch the sides here, like that. And right now I want you to drag a selection around these vertices on the top, press F to fill that. You can see how the solidify modifier will close the shape. And right now just press G twice and bring this down. Now if you want to make this curve a little bit sharper, you just add another loop like before. So Ctrl R, add the loop and move it up. Now if we go to the solid view and look from the top, there might be some pinching here and there. So the safe thing to do would be to select the top face and inset this a little bit, so you have a more even distribution of the geometry there. And yeah, so that's basically some dirt. And right now the one last thing to do is to add some plant, and adding a plant will be the easiest thing of all in this scene. You just go to the edit preferences, go to add-ons and search for sapling, so SAP, and you can already see it there. And there's an add-on called Add Curve Sapling Tree Gen, and you just check that, close the preferences, and right now if you press Shift A and go to the curve, you can see there's Sapling Tree Gen option, and you just click that and you have a tree basically. So this is a very useful add-on and it's awesome. It comes packed right into Blender, and with this you can create all sorts of quick trees, and basically it uses the curve geometry and the radius on the control points to create this nice random distribution of the branches. And there are quite extensive options right here, and I played around with it a lot to find some result I like for the room. So you can just follow along, or you can play with this on your own and see what all these options do. So I want to start with the custom shape here and bring all of this down to 0.01 and leave this to 0.5. And right now I want to bring up this branch distribution to something like 20. And to get rid of these, some of these branches down, we want to use some option for the branch rings. And right now it's 0, so basically it does some random thing here. And if you start with 1, you can see there are quite fewer branches, and you can bring this up to create more rings where the branches are growing. So I think the 2 will look fine here. And right now go to the branch splitting, and I want you to modify the split angle and go really low to something like 5. And you can see this will create this tall narrow shape. And right now if we go to leaves and activate it, this is something we can use for a tall narrow room plant. So I will leave it like this. You can of course go around, play with this and create some pretty interesting plants or trees. Okay, so right now I just want to select this, and let's just snap it to the cursor there. So Shift S and selection to cursor, and we can press S and scale this down. Okay, and right now I just want to select all of these objects and parent it to the base down there. So Control P, parent, and maybe move this around and rotate so we are not going into the wall there. And you can of course scale this according to your needs, whatever you like. So yeah, that's for the plant. It was pretty easy to create it. Maybe sometimes it can get a little bit tedious to find some right settings for the sapling add-on, but I think it's a great help when you need something quick like this for a scene, when you need to put a plant or some trees and scatter them around the scene. This generator can be a huge help. And as I said before, you can always go in and edit this to find some shape you like more. So I really like how this approach is completely procedural, and you can quickly edit your results. So that's about the plant, and let's move on.